Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of South by Southeast. Today we are with Andres. And Andres, why don't you tell everybody where we are today?
Well, we're currently at 4007 East 106th Street, Birrieria Ocotlan, and we're located in the far southeast side of Chicago, hence the podcast name.
Yes, it is.
And I'm very excited for you guys to be here and try out our birria.
I know, we have the delicious tacos here today. I can't wait to eat them. I can smell, like, as soon as we walked in, I could smell all of the smells that I
It's very pungent.
know. So tell me a little bit about this location, because I believe this is the second location for
That's
you
correct.
guys.
Our first location is located at 8726 South Commercial Avenue.
Okay.
That's South Chicago. My father opened up in 1973 there.
Oh, wow.
Transitioned over here. As we all know, once the steel mills started closing, the neighborhood started changing a little bit. People didn't have jobs, didn't have money. So saw potential on this side of the neighborhood, southeast side of Chicago, and it's a great location. We're on the busy streets, 106. We have Indiana right here. We have the toll road. It's a great location, and it's like the universe spoke to him almost. It's like,
you have to open on the east side.
Yeah. So he came over here to test new waters, and it was new grounds. It was good. It's been good ever since.
That's really awesome. And give me a little bit of history about your family and the actual tacos, because we were talking earlier, and I know you're not going to give away any secrets. I don't want you to give away any secrets, but tell us a little bit about this birria.
So this birria, it's special because I tell everybody, I went to school, I did all that jazz, and it didn't work out because God wants me to obviously be a birriero and sell birria, It's funny. So this recipe in particular started in 1926 with my great-grandfather.
Oh, wow.
And it started in the central region of Mexico, which is Jalisco.
Okay.
And in particular in Ocotlan, Jalisco. In Huentitan, my great-grandfather's from Huentitan, Jalisco, where Vicente Fernandez is from.
Oh, wow.
It's very Canelo and all of them, right? It's like every good Jalisciense is from there. No, I'm just kidding. There's great parts all over the Republic of Mexico. But so it started there originally, and when he started, it's an interesting story. He started out of necessity. One of his friends pretty much sold him a goat, and he didn't have any use for that goat anymore. And my great-grandfather decided, well, what do I do with this? I gotta feed my family, and then I have to start something. And
Can't be a pet.
Yeah, right. Can't be a pet. Need the money, need the food. So he made a birria because he remembered his uncle used to sell birria. And he took his two oldest son, back in 1926 to be exact. He took his two eldest son and went to go sell the birria. He made it, sold it, and everybody was like, wow, this is great. So, out of that goat, he made, I believe it was 5 pesos. Back then it was a lot of money because he was selling a bowl of birria, the stew, goat stew. He would sell it for about 30 cents, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And to get another goat, he used that. Another goat was like 5 or 2 pesos or something like that. I don't remember the exact. My dad knows the exact amount. But from there, he started teaching his children. And then his children grew up. Some became priests, some became lawyers, some became veterinarians. And they moved to different sections of the city. Okay. Or not of the city, of Mexico, of the country. San Luis Potosí, Oaxaca, Mexico City. And then in itself, in Mexico City, one of my grandfather's brothers started a birria spot right there. And it became very popular. And from that location came La Birria El Polar. Which happened to be, sorry, I'm waving to someone. It happened to be one of the most popular birrias in all of Mexico. But it's not in the family anymore because it kind of transitioned. Long story short, something went wrong.
Okay. We don't talk about that side.
Yeah, so my dad got here in 1968.
Okay.
And my dad learned how to make birria from his dad. The same recipe again. And when my dad got here, he was a tortillero. So he would deliver tortillas. He worked at Tortilleria El Amigos.
Oh, okay.
Which at that time there was like 5 tortillerias in the South Chicago area, which is like that's a testament to how much money there was back then to have 5 tortillerias in one neighborhood. It's like a little village, you know, but it's downtown Chicago and South Chicago. Anyway, he went to this location where 87th and 8726 South Commercial. That used to be like a little breakfast spot. Oh, okay. And the lady, well, she liked her booze, you know. And one day my dad went to go drop off some tortillas for her. And jokingly, he said, "Hey, how much do you want for this?" "What do you mean?" He was like, she's like, "You really want to buy it?" I was like, and she said, "Yeah, I'll sell it to you for $2,000 bucks." My dad's like, $2,000? I have $1,800.
Oh my gosh. Right now.
Yeah. So, literally the next day, my dad bought it.
Oh
my
gosh.
All the equipment and everything, and she went on her way. I wonder, he doesn't even know what happened to the lady. But he was renting at that location. And then he rented there, rented the garage in the back, and then rented right next door where he lived with my mom. Wow. And my mom and my dad started living, like, they only had a mattress and a little stove. That's all they had, you know? Yeah. And from there came the birria. And he didn't work it initially. My grandfather and my grandma came to Chicago to work the location, while my dad still worked his route. Yeah.
Tortillas.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I never knew that there was such a big history behind how it actually came to be. Yeah.
It's interesting. My dad's like, "Oh, I'm a professional birriero. Like, this is what I do for a living." When someone asks him, "Oh, Ramon, what do you do?" It's funny. When he would, we'd go buy the meat at different locations. He would take me as a young guy, and the guy was like, "Well, Ramon, you talk like a businessman. Why are you trying to?" And excuse my language. "Why are you trying to screw me over? Why are you trying to play? Like, you know, why are you trying to always get the upper hand on it? What do you do for a living?" And I said, "Well, I'm a professional birriero." And the guy's like, "Okay, like, what is this?" You know, the guy was like a Yugoslavian, like, white guy. Didn't know, like, what a birria was. And look at us now. Birria is so popular now. Yeah,
exactly. And tell me about the tacos. Like, what is so distinct about your guys' tacos?
The taste.
That you think.
The quality, the goodness of it. I mean, to be distinct, it's original. It's a family recipe. It's sacred to our heart, you know. There's different ways to make birria, and there's a very popular way to make birria now because everyone wants the crispy red tacos, but that's not really birria, you know. So tacos de canasta are very popular in the central region of Mexico, like the Jalisco area, and usually you fry the tacos and then you put them in a basket, and then with the steam, it kind of softens up, but it stays red, and they're very tasty. And they make tacos de canasta pretty much out of, like, carne deshebrada, which happens to be like birria, right?
Okay.
But our distinction is that it's just from the heart. Like, the family, there's no hiding it. I have the receipts, you know? The recipe is really from my family. You know?
Yeah.
If you're Reyes and you're in Ocotlan, Jalisco, you must know how to make birria. That's what it comes down to.
That's the assumption.
That's the assumption. Yeah.
And Andres, tell me, for people who don't know, what exactly is birria? Because there's a lot of different, I guess, things that can be put into birria, but what exactly is birria?
Okay, so birria, by definition, and the English definition is simple, goat stew. Now, you could make it out of beef or any other red meat, but traditionally it's made out of goat, and it's a stew.
Okay.
What gives it flavor is the different kind of spices and the taste of the goat.
Okay.
It's special because goat is very gamey. So the history behind birria and the history that we've learned from my great grandfathers and the people before us is that you add all these spices to cover up the strong taste of the goat. Now, goat is the most popular eating meat in the entire world, except for America.
Yeah,
I won't go there.
A lot of people will look at you and be like, "You're eating."
Oh, no. Yeah, and then, I mean, you go to every other continent, and you go to South America, Central America, the Dominican, Jamaica, you know, you have goat goat, jerk goat. India, goat curry. Other places all over the world. I mean, even in like England and Ireland. I have a few buddies that are from Europe, and they've had goat. And goat is so cheap, and it was always cheap to make. Even buying the goats, back when my dad first started, he opened up the market for the goats because he would go to like the flea markets where they would sell farm animals and eggs and milk and stuff like that, and he would buy all the goats. So one day, my dad goes and this older white gentleman goes up to my dad, and and in the broken English that my dad at that time spoke, he kind of got the idea like, well, Ramon, why are you buying all these goats? What do you need all these goats for? Like, I just need 2 goats. Please, just 2 goats. So I need milk. Like, I need milk for my products and for my cheese. My dad's like, well, okay. Well, I'll buy the goats and then you have 2. Or how do you want to do it? Yeah. By the way, who kills your goats? And my dad's like, so let's go back 2 days ago. Before that encounter, my dad would grab the goats, kill them at a farm that luckily, it's mind-blowing how the universe works. Luckily, a few miles away from here where he would buy them, at his uncle's or second uncle's farm in Maryville.
Oh, wow.
So he would go from Linwood to Maryville, and he would go and kill the goats there, skin them like 5 in the morning, and dig holes in the ground and put all the all the insides, right?
Yeah.
And he would go all the way from Maryville to Commercial.
Oh my god.
And he would pack the truck. It was like a little station wagon. He would pack the station wagon with all these dead animals, right? There was no other way. How were you gonna get goats, right? So that was the simplest way back then, and he figured it out. Well, that one day, 2 days before that day, that he met the guy at the market, an inspector was waiting for him in the alley.
Oh gosh.
City inspector. He's like, Ramon, what do you have here? Like, how do I know these are goats? How do I not know that maybe you have like dead dogs? You gotta throw these out. My dad's like, are you kidding me?
Oh no.
And then by luck, 2 days later, this guy's like, well, you know what? I need these 2 goats, and I have a meat packaging place. I'll kill them for you.
Gosh.
I'll kill them for you, and you let me keep those 2 goats, and you buy them, and I won't charge you to skin them and gut them and everything. My dad's like, yeah,
deal.
Yeah, deal. And he's like, and my dad, he told me the story, and he's like, Mijo, I was driving home, and I wanted to cry because I was so happy that, this was working out in our favor.
Yeah. And
it was crazy. And then before you knew it, my dad was he started off buying 10, 15, 30, 40 goats a week. And then other meat packaging places were looking at this guy that was making money off goats because it was so cheap. I mean, back then, you could buy a goat for like $8.
Oh, wow.
$8, and it was like probably like anywhere from 50 to 70 pound goat.
That's a big
It's
goat.
very profitable. Now it's crazy. Now it's like $3 per pound, right? Back then it was very cheap, and he was even making more money. The guy that was cutting them up. So then from that location, my dad helped my cousin or his cousin, who helped them establish 87th Commercial, open up the one on 18th Street. We're not associated with them, but he went out there to 18th Street, and then who was he going to buy the goats from? The same guy. So then that's how the market started opening up for people who wanted to buy goats. It boomed. It was like a little goat boom, And Economy 101. I told my dad, I was like, you should have been an economist. Like, what's wrong with you? Like some kind of stock.
He was ahead of his time.
He was ahead of his time. So, and then you had other birrias open, like the one on 26, which is, we're kind of relative to them. There's one on Cermak. We're kind of relative. There's all of, if it has Ocotlan or if it has Jalisco, more than likely they came from 87. That's tradition.
They just spread out.
But I will tell you this. The only reason we've been so successful, and I mean, the food's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't lie about that.
And in order for you to have a successful business, keep it short, keep it simple. When you try to get a message across, even if you're having a conversation, keep it short and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly for a new menu. Like if you're opening up a restaurant, keep it short, keep it sweet, and have consistency.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key to success.
Definitely.
And then hopefully the clients come.
Yeah.
Luckily for us, the neighborhood has been phenomenal to us. We've seen the neighborhood when it's been up here, and we've seen the neighborhood when it's been down here.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I like to think that although there is high crime, and you speak of violence and carjackings and whatever you want to see on the news, and I say you because you have the right to either watch the news or ignore it.
Right.
But the community has always helped us out.
Definitely.
The clients, and if you're in the business, you know that reoccurring clients, whether it's a restaurant or bar, those are the ones that give you life.
Mm-hmm.
And because of them, we're where we're at.
Yeah.
Luckily, we haven't suffered, and up to this point, we've been very, very grateful with the community.
Yeah, definitely. I always see a line almost wrapped around the building, just waiting
on the weekends. On the weekends, yeah.
Just waiting to get the birria.
I tell people, I'm like, hey, if you want great service, don't come on the weekends, because even I can't give you that. But it's luckily we have.
Yes.
We've been really blessed. But it's for the community. If you talk about an artist, like a musician, a famous musician that goes up stage and has millions of followers, millions of fans, that guy, that one musician, owes it to every single person in the stands.
Yeah, that's there.
If there's an athlete, if you have a famous athlete, a sports team, all those guys get their salary from us who see the games, and us that buy the albums, and it's the same thing for a restaurant. We wouldn't be where we're at if we didn't have our clients.
Definitely, I can definitely agree with that. And if anybody wants to come and find you, Andres, how can they find you? I mean, obviously coming into the restaurant, but how else can they find you guys?
Well, we only have 2 locations, and those are the only ones, maybe in the future. But we have the first one we have at 87th 26 South Commercial Avenue, South Chicago. And the second location is here at 4007 East 106th Street. And we're located on the southeast side of Chicago. You could also find us on Instagram at Birria_Ocotlan, and Twitter as well, where we like to have a lot of fun. Because the dynamic's a little bit different. Demographic between Twitter and Twitter's more like, it's more gutsy. But you can find us there.
Perfect. Well, Andres, I know that you have really paid an homage to your family by continuing the tradition of all these birria tacos. I mean, I know that the community appreciates it. I know Crowbar appreciates it, and you bringing all of their, customers to them too, I'm sure.
It's perfect. You drink and then you come
exactly.
Hangover, cure it at the birria, and then you go again.
You leave there at like 5 o'clock in the morning, like, yeah, they're gonna open 2 hours.
Go take a nap and then come back.
But I'm sure the community appreciates everything that you do, and these tacos just speak for themselves, I feel like.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have to keep the tradition going. I'll be honest. Growing up, I didn't want to do this.
Really?
Growing up, I was like, I'm going to go to school, and I don't want to be at the restaurant, because I knew firsthand the dedication, the hardships, and what my dad would go through, and seeing his health. We're a different generation. He came here for one thing, to better his life. How do you better your life from coming from impoverished areas like where he came from? You make money. It's monetary. But once that monetary success is there, then what?
Yeah.
Then what drives you? Because then you're healthy clients, and then what? But my dad, through his hard work, was able to put me through college. He gave me an education. I always had a warm plate of food on the kitchen table. I had clothes to go to school. I was able to do extracurricular things like play sports. And I had this grand life. Might not have been the most luxurious, but it was a really good life.
Yeah.
And that stems from this hard work. Now, the birria, it's a humbling experience. Because it started with my great-grandfather, it started with my grandfather, it started with my dad, and then now me.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my sisters, because I have 3 older sisters that worked here before I was even born.
Oh, okay.
But they have their own family, they have their own careers, they're going their own route, and that's where I stepped in.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, 3 years ago, his health declined. He had some health issues, so I forcefully had to step into the plate. I worked here on the weekends during high school and in college when I came back home for college, and it kept going. You know, what drives me is my family.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's 3 things in life: God, family, and birria. Like, birria literally is life for me. And my family, it's a staple. I don't do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be very sincere and honest. I don't do it for me. Because these hours can catch up to you. But luckily, I have a great support system. And what better way than to feed families?
Yeah.
You know, and do good by the people that help you, like my employees and whoever I have, like my family, and the community, really. We're close to 50 years. 2023 will be 50 years in South Chicago. And I think once those 50 years once those 50 years hit, my goal is to maybe remodel and give something back to South Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
The community that gave my family everything.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a tough question to answer as to why I particularly do this for a reason, aside from, like, it pays my bills. It's more for my family.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And now, Andres, tell everybody again where they can find your birria. I mean, I know everybody knows where it is, but in case they want to see you on social media, where can they find you?
For the people that live in the suburbs.
Yes, they want to come here.
We're at 8726 South Commercial Avenue. That's in South Chicago. And then we're here at 4007 East 106th Street, southeast side of Chicago. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram, both at Birria_Ocotlan. I prefer Twitter, but
we're gonna have to find you on Twitter.
Yeah. Or our website, www.birriaocotlan.com. So
awesome.
That's where you can find us.
Awesome. Thank you, Andres, and we're gonna have to eat this food.
Yeah, before it gets cold.
We do have our patrons to thank as well, and they are gonna be Hegewisch Nutrition, Willie G, Stevie's Michies, Dog Apparel, Poco Picoso, OMG Pastries 31. VBly Photo, Crystal Visions, Matthew Rise, Ice Cream Time, Buzzin Barbecue, Stella Garcia, and Hair by Lynn 29. So if anybody wants to be a patron, make sure to click the link below. And again, thank you, Andres, for having us here at your store.
Thank you for allowing me to be on your podcast. It looks very cool. I'm gonna become a patron too.
Oh yes, we look forward to that. So thank you, everybody. This is another episode of South by Southeast.